Are you looking for a good pressure washing setup that is simple, not all huge, humongous? You want to stay on a budget? Those are some great things you want to think about. Today's video, I'm going to show you a real simple setup I have here. Just this setup right here in the surface cleaner. This, you can do house washing, you can do concrete cleaning, you can do paver cleaning, paver sealing by doing this. You can do deck cleaning. You can do about everything except roof cleaning, to be honest, with this setup right here today, what I'm going to show you. I'm Jason Guyman here to help you grow your business, be successful, and to change your life at pressurewashhelp.com. So today I'm going to walk over basically what I have gotten here, and what I'm going to do is I will have a list of everything I have here down in the description. It will be the whole complete bill list for this whole setup I have, just this setup right here. Now we won't be able to do roof cleaning, and that's about it. But everything else we can do from this small setup. And just to be clear, you don't even need this full setup if you don't have the extra money for the hose reels, the buffer tank, that kind of stuff. When this pump come with just the pump itself for $1,500 and 50 feet of hose, all I needed would have been a garden hose and maybe a little bit more extra hose, and I could have made just as much money with that. Now, with that being said, I don't want you to go getting cheap on me if you can. If you only have, $1,500, $2,000, that's fine. But what this will allow you to do is, by me setting it up in this way here, I'm able to do house washes in about 45, 50 minutes to an hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on the size. If it's a bigger house, it might take me, you know, an hour and a half. A small 2,000 foot house, 2-story, I can do it in about 45 minutes to 50, 45 to an hour. Um, it's just the way it is. Now, if I just had just the pressure washer and I'm having to unroll hose and I'm having to unroll my garden hose and I got to roll it all back up, we're going to probably look at probably 2 hours to 3 hours to do a house wash. Where if I have all this set up, you're only going to look at an hour to an hour and a half. If because I don't have to sit there and unwind hose, I can pull this off and take it, and it's right to where I need to start the motor, come back, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So today's video, I'm going to actually show you every part of this, and like I say, I'll have a build list of this whole setup, which is a very simple setup. Nothing crazy here, nothing over, nothing out of the ordinary. Just an awesome little setup. I don't even have a soap tank. All I have is a 5-gallon bucket. And you say, well, Jason, I did this for probably 2 years, about a year, just doing a 5-gallon bucket before I actually went to a big soap tank. And that was how I started. So out of a 5-gallon bucket works just fine in that. But I will walk through this whole setup I have right here today and show you how and everything. And like I say, on that build list, I'll have every piece that you'll need that you can order to get this setup looking just like what I have here. So the first thing I have is this 2,500 PSI 5.5 gallon minute pump, which is reason why I went with the 5.5 gallon minute pump. 5.5 gallon minute. It really what really cuts our time down is the flow. It's not the pressure. The only thing I need pressure for is my surface cleaner, and the surface cleaner runs plenty of pressure off this 2,500. It does fine. I have had no issue out of it. So people always ask me, what about my surface cleaner? And in fact, I'll have some videos, and I'll show, if I have them up, I'll link it in here to this running the 2,500 PSI. But this is a 2,500 PSI. That's the only time we need it is for the surface cleaner. We don't need PSI any other time. We need the flow. So the difference between a 4 gallon a minute and a 5.5 gallon minute, the one dude that I've DJ's trailer, I've shown that video. He ran this pump the other day, and he's like, just that gallon and a half different makes a difference on rinsing. He's like, that would cut my time hugely by 4 gallon versus 5.5. And that's why I went with the 5.5 gallon here. So out of the 5.5 gallon is I have my hose right here. It's my suction hose. It's running into the bottom of the pump, and it runs back here to my tank out of the bulkhead in the bottom of that tank. From that tank, I also have another line running off this pump, which is the return line out of my unloader. So when my unloader's dumping back into the tank so I don't burn it up, it's running in this smaller hose, and it's actually just dumping right into the top of the hose. The other line I have here is my high pressure line, and it runs right up here, and it goes in through my downstream injector into my hose reel and out my hose reel here. I have 200 feet of hose. That's what I always like to carry. That's just what I like to carry. Actually, I like to carry 150 and then just carry that extra 50 in case I need it. So that is my downstream injector. Here's my downstream injector. I actually have it coming here to a three-way valve. And in this three-way valve, one line goes back into my water tank, and the other line goes right here into my soap tank, which if I had a soap tank, which I'm going to be getting a soap tank, it's going to be mounted up there, and this line will eventually run up to that soap tank. But right now, I just have a 5 gallon bucket with a piece of PVC pipe. It's 1/2 inch. It slides over that 5/16. And the good thing about this is it keeps it from twirling up on you. And it runs into my three-way valve. With my three-way valve, I can either turn on my soap, or if I turn it off and I go to water, reason why I'm doing this is to see if I can keep my injectors longer, because now I'm flushing this injector out with water instead of leaving that soap in there, which that soap will eventually damage it. When I first started pressure washing, I never had a valve. I just had this, and I would just pull this out of the bucket, set it on the ground, and let it do its thing there. But I don't like that. So that's why I went with this three-way valve, and one goes to my water tank, one goes to my soap tank. When I turn it off, it takes it to the other thing. So this is my high pressure side here. One thing I did do on my intake line here is I actually have a little drain over there. So I pull this trailer with my Jeep. I have a Jeep Wrangler, and I didn't want to be hauling 30 gallons of water around. I know it's not a lot of weight, but it's more weight than I want to put on my Jeep, especially in this enclosed trailer. It takes a lot of, it just takes a lot of wind. And so all this stuff I'm showing you, you can either put in the back of a pickup truck, or you can put on a nice 4x6 trailer, something small. You don't have to have some big, 16-foot trailer to run a pressure washing business and be successful. So that is my intake right here. The other thing with my line coming into my pump is I do have a filter also right here, so that way I keep the crap out of my pump and equipment, so that way I don't feel like a machine gun sometimes. And that's what will cause that, is you get crap in that pump, and that will cause that to feel like a machine gun. All right. The other thing I have is I have 150 feet of Flexzilla hose right here, and it runs in through this swivel right here, and it dumps into my tank right there with a Hudson valve on the bottom of it. So I do have a 35-gallon tank, but it only fills up to about 28, 29 gallons of water. So that is my buffer tank. And again, I show about how a buffer tank works in a different video, so you can go check that out. But that's it. This is all my system right here. I've did 3 houses so far with this system. It works amazing. I mean, it does. It really does. I'm not just saying that to try to get, I want you to be able to get in, because a lot of times I get a lot of people asking me, hey, can I start a pressure washing business? I got $3,000, or here's the thing. This little setup right here will wash just as much as a $20,000 setup. Will it be as fast? Probably not. but it will do just as good a job. Guarantee it. And that's what I want you to be able to understand. You don't need some big rig to get started. Something simple, something easy, not a whole lot to it. You can see right here, we got 3 hose running there, 4 hose running there, and that's it. That's it. Simple, simple, real simple. Um, but I just wanted to show you how this system works in the way I have it set up. And basically, if I needed to, I could move this tank here and I could put right here, and I have everything within this little bitty section. The only other thing other than this right here is you're going to need a surface cleaner. A surface cleaner right here. I'm not saying you want this one. There's a hammerhead one that works really good. It does. I actually got a video of it, and I'll post it using that video of this hammerhead surface cleaner. The hammerhead surface cleaner works fine, and it does a good job. So if you want to see how each individual build of this build is, go check out my video up here, and it will go over everything you need to know. See you in my next video.